The celestial realm shimmered with an otherworldly glow as two small figures darted between the pearl-white columns of the Jade Palace. Their laughter echoed through the clouds, a sound both innocent and mischievous. "Sister, if we don't run, Lady Yaoqi will catch us," the younger one called out, his small legs pumping as fast as they could. "I've got you now, you little troublemakers," came the exasperated voice of their pursuer. But before Lady Yaoqi could reach them, a gentle yet authoritative voice stopped everyone in their tracks. The goddess of the western sky appeared, her expression a mixture of concern and determination. Behind her stood Tai Bai, the elderly celestial advisor, his white beard flowing like morning mist. "Why have you allowed my children to descend to the mortal realm?" the goddess demanded, though her voice trembled with worry rather than anger. "Genia is in danger," Tai Bai explained solemnly. "Under the new celestial regulations, gods cannot interfere in mortal affairs. However, these two going to save their father, that demonstrates filial piety. The divine laws permit this." The goddess's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she knelt before her children. Mingbao, the elder sister at 8 years old, stood straight-backed despite her small frame. Her younger brother Xiaobao clutched her hand, trying to appear brave. "My darlings, I have a mission for you," their mother said softly, pulling them close. "Your father is in terrible danger in the mortal world. You must find him and protect him." She pressed something into Mingbao's palm, a jade pendant that seemed to pulse with inner light. "Your father is a wealthy merchant in Haiqing. I've cast a spell that will always guide you to him. This pendant is how you'll recognize each other when the time comes." Before the children could respond, their mother embraced them one final time, breathing in their scent as if to memorize it. "I must return to my duties now. Be brave, my treasures. The mortal world is different from heaven, but remember, you carry divinity in your hearts." And with that, the world around Mingbao and Xiaobao began to shimmer and fade. The transition from heaven to earth was jarring. One moment, the children were surrounded by clouds and celestial light. The next, they stood on a busy city street in Haiqing, the modern metropolis sprawling before them in all its chaotic glory. The sounds hit them first: car horns, voices shouting, music blaring from nearby shops. Then came the smells: street food, exhaust fumes, the peculiar blend of urban life. Mingbao's eyes widened as she took it all in, but she kept her grip firm on Xiaobao's hand. "Sister, where's father?" Xiaobao asked, his voice small in the vastness of the city. Before Mingbao could answer, a desperate shout rang out. "Move! My brakes failed. Get out of the way." A delivery truck careened toward them, its driver frantically yanking the steering wheel. Time seemed to slow. Mingbao saw a man in a business suit frozen in the truck's path, his briefcase still clutched in his hand, his eyes wide with the understanding that these were his final moments. "That man is in danger," Xiaobao cried. "I'll save him." Without thinking, the boy raised his small hand. Ancient words, taught in the celestial realm, tumbled from his lips. A golden light flashed, and suddenly the man and the truck seemed to exist in different moments of time. The vehicle passed harmlessly through the space where he stood, then crashed into a nearby lamppost with a deafening crunch of metal. The man collapsed to the ground, unconscious but alive. "Is he?" Xiaobao looked at his sister with worried eyes. Mingbao checked the man's pulse, relief flooding through her. "I cast a sleeping spell. He'll wake soon, don't worry." But even as she said it, exhaustion washed over her. Celestial magic required enormous energy in the mortal realm. "Sister, I'm hungry," Xiaobao whimpered. "Me too." Mingbao's stomach growled in agreement. "Let's find something to eat." As they walked away, neither child noticed the group of men emerging from a black sedan. The leader, a scarred man with calculating eyes, gestured to his subordinates. "Boss, look at that." One of them pointed at something glittering in the street. The jade pendant had fallen from Mingbao's pocket during the rescue. The boss picked it up, examining it with greedy eyes before pocketing it. "Grab the guy and put him in the car. Move." Meanwhile, Mingbao had made a disturbing discovery. Xiaobao, I think we forgot something very important. What? Her brother asked around a mouthful of the steamed bun they'd found discarded near a vendor's stall. The pendant. Mother said that's how father would recognize us. Xiaobao's eyes went wide. You mean, that man we saved might not have been father? Mother said father is a wealthy merchant of Haiqing. That man was dressed so poorly. Mingbao's voice trailed off as uncertainty crept in. I'm so hungry, sister. Should we have eaten that fish before we descended? Desperation made people do strange things. That's how the two celestial children found themselves at a pawn shop, Mingbao holding up the remaining talisman paper from their celestial supplies. Can we trade this for a meal? She asked hopefully. The pawnbroker's expression cycled from curiosity to disgust. What are you, some kind of con artist? Get out of here with your fake mystical trash. Shoo. Go on. He raised his hand threateningly, and Xiaobao stumbled backward, tripping over his own feet. He hit the ground hard, scraping his palms. Tears welled in his eyes, not from pain, but from the overwhelming strangeness of this world where nobody helped, where kindness seemed extinct. Why are you treating a child this way? A gentle but firm voice demanded. An elderly woman with silver hair and kind eyes approached, her cane tapping against the pavement. Despite her age, there was strength in her bearing, the bearing of someone who had weathered life's storms and emerged with compassion intact. Are you all right, sweetheart? She helped Xiaobao to his feet, brushing dirt from his clothes with maternal care. I'm okay, grandmother, Xiaobao sniffled. The old woman's eyes softened further at the title. She turned to her companion, a middle-aged woman who appeared to be her assistant. Let's take these children for a proper meal. As they sat in a small restaurant, Mingbao and Xiaobao attacked their fried chicken and rice with the desperation of truly hungry children. The elderly woman, who introduced herself as Madame Shen, watched them with an expression that was equal parts amusement and sorrow. If they were my grandchildren, she murmured to her assistant, I would be the happiest woman alive. Her assistant shifted uncomfortably. Madam, I have urgent news. It's about Mr. Shen. The color drained from Madame Shen's face. What happened? He's been kidnapped. And someone is sabotaging Shen Corporation. We're on the verge of bankruptcy. Madame Shen's hand trembled so badly that her teacup rattled against its saucer. These children before her, with their strange manner of speaking and their otherworldly innocence, could they truly be the grandchildren her son Jianye had never known he had? The Shen family mansion was in chaos. Relatives who had been lying in wait like vultures finally sensed their opportunity to seize control. The only way to save Jianye is to return Shen Corporation to its rightful owners, declared Shenli, Jinye's cousin. His smile was that of a predator who had cornered wounded prey. Unless you want to watch him die, hand over the company. This is extortion, Madame Shen said quietly, but there was steel beneath the softness. This is business. Shenli pulled out his phone, playing a video that made Madame Shen's blood run cold. Her son, bound and gagged, blood trickling from a cut on his temple. Decide quickly, Aunt. Otherwise, I can't guarantee his safety. Mingbao had been quietly observing from the corner where she and Xiaobao had been told to wait. Her celestial senses, though diminished in the mortal realm, still picked up the currents of deceit flowing through the room. Grandmother, you can't give them the corporation, she said suddenly, her young voice cutting through the tension like a knife. Every head turned toward her. Shenli laughed, a harsh, mocking sound. Where did this brat come from? What do you know about business, little girl? If you give them Shen Corporation, Uncle will become useless to them. They'll kill him anyway. Mingbao's eyes, ancient beyond her years, met Shenli's. But don't worry about the stock situation. I can fix it. You. Shenli's laughter grew even louder. You're 8 years old. You probably don't even know what a stock is. But Madame Shen had spent enough time with these strange children to recognize something extraordinary in them. What do you propose, dear? Mingbao's face took on an expression of intense concentration. In the celestial realm, she was known as Qing Ming, the goddess of secret communications. Every piece of information recorded anywhere in the three realms passed through her awareness, including, crucially, information that wouldn't be public for several more hours. In exactly 5 minutes, she said with absolute confidence, Daxia will announce a breakthrough in artificial intelligence that makes our country the world leader. If we buy AI stocks now, before the announcement, we'll make an enormous profit. The room erupted in laughter, all except Madame Shen, who had learned to trust her instincts about these children. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, scoffed the family accountant. China's AI sector has been blocked by foreign sanctions. AI stocks are worthless right now. Nobody wants them. But Madame Shen's assistant spoke up hesitantly. Actually, Mr. Shen was planning to invest in AI stocks before his kidnapping. He kept mentioning it. Something in Madame Shen's heart quickened. Her son had many faults, but poor business instincts weren't among them. And this child, with her strange certainty. Invest everything, Madame Shen decided. Mine and Jinye's assets, put it all into AI-related stocks. You're making a mistake you'll regret. Shen Li couldn't keep the satisfaction from his voice. This was even better than he'd hoped. The old woman would be penniless, and Jinye would be worthless to him anyway. 3 minutes later, every news channel exploded with the same breaking story. Revolutionary AI breakthrough in Daxia. Nation becomes global technology leader. The Shen Corporation's stock price, heavily invested in AI companies, skyrocketed. In less than an hour, the family's wealth had tripled. Shen Li's face turned the color of spoiled milk. This is impossible. Nothing is impossible, Mingbao said quietly, when you know how to listen to the universe. Madame Shen knelt before the children, tears streaming down her weathered cheeks. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for saving our family. But Mingbao's expression had turned grave. Grandmother, where is Uncle? I know where he's being held. We need to rescue him now. The abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Haiqing reeked of rust and decay. Shen Jinye hung from chains bolted to the ceiling, his expensive suit torn and bloodied. 3 days of captivity had left him gaunt, but his eyes still burned with defiant intelligence. 2 small figures crept through the shadows, their footsteps silent as moonlight. Is that him? Xiaobao whispered, staring at the bound man. Is that Uncle? Mingbao nodded, her heart aching at the sight. Our magic is almost depleted. We can only use one spell, and we've already used it today. We have no powers left to fight. Then how do we save him? Mingbao's eyes fell on something discarded in the corner, a child's toy gun, probably left by the warehouse's previous occupants. An idea, desperate and foolish, began to form. Sometimes, she said slowly, you don't need magic. You just need the right prop and the ability to improvise. They revealed themselves, and the kidnappers, hardened criminals used to intimidation, burst into mocking laughter at the sight of 2 children. Look what we have here. Did you come to play, little ones? The lead kidnapper, a mountain of a man with a jagged scar across his face, grinned cruelly. This isn't a playground. Xiaobao raised the toy gun with shaking hands. Let our uncle go. The laughter intensified. Oh no, a toy gun. I'm so scared. The scarred man pretended to swoon dramatically. But Mingbao had learned something important about the mortal realm. People saw what they expected to see. She had positioned herself and Xiaobao just right, with the dim warehouse lighting creating dramatic shadows. The toy gun, a surprisingly realistic replica, looked genuinely threatening in the gloom. You think this is funny? Mingbao's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Xiaobao, show them. Xiaobao pulled the trigger. The toy gun made a pathetically weak, click sound. The kidnappers howled with laughter, until Mingbao, using the last dregs of her celestial power, caused a stack of metal pipes behind them to collapse with a sound like a gunshot. One of the kidnappers shrieked and grabbed his shoulder, convinced he'd been hit. It's real. The gun is real. he screamed. Panic is contagious. Within seconds, hardened criminals were scrambling over each other, convinced they were under armed attack by what they now believed were highly trained child soldiers. In the chaos, something extraordinary happened. The air shimmered, and a figure materialized, rotund, jovial, dressed in traditional robes of gold and crimson. The god of wealth himself had descended, drawn by Xiaobao's earlier plea. You dare call upon me for such trivial matters? The god boomed, but his eyes twinkled with amusement. He had always had a soft spot for children. Please, Lord of Fortune, Xiaobao said, his lower lip trembling. If you don't help us, I'll tell the goddess of wealth about your secret money stash. The god of wealth's expression cycled through shock, outrage, and finally resignation. You wouldn't dare. Try me. With a theatrical sigh, the god waved his hand. Golden light flooded the warehouse, and the kidnappers collapsed into unconscious heaps, each one wearing an expression of blissful greed as they dreamed of endless riches. There, the god of wealth huffed. Are we even now? Thank you, the children chorused. As quickly as he'd appeared, the deity vanished, muttering about ungrateful mortals and blackmail. Shen Jinya, who had witnessed the entire bizarre sequence, stared at the children with a mixture of awe and confusion. Who are you? We're here to save you, uncle, Mingbao said simply, already working to free him from his chains. When the police and Madame Shan arrived minutes later, they found the kidnappers unconscious, Jinya freed, and two children calmly waiting as if rescuing kidnapping victims was an everyday occurrence. The cultivation of goodwill in high society requires careful tending, like a garden of rare orchids. When the elderly Mr. Su, patriarch of Haicheng's second wealthiest family, invited the Shens to his mother's birthday celebration, it was both an honor and a test. The Su family mansion made the Shen residence look modest by comparison. Gold leaf decorated the ceilings, priceless Ming dynasty paintings adorned the walls, and the guest list read like a who's who of Chinese elite. This scroll, Mr. Su announced proudly to the assembled guests, gesturing to his newest acquisition, is an authentic Wu Derozi original, in search of the true immortal. 1 billion yuan, and worth every fuin. The guests cooed appreciatively, but Mingbao's expression had turned troubled. She tugged on Jinya's sleeve. Father, that painting is fake. The room fell silent. Mr. Su, a man whose hatred of deception was legendary, turned slowly to stare at the 8-year-old who had just insulted his prized possession. What did you say, child? Jinya's blood ran cold. Insulting Mr. Su was dangerous. Accusing him of being fooled was potentially fatal. Mingbao, perhaps. The pigments are wrong, Mingbao said, her young voice carrying the certainty of someone who had actually known the artist. Wu Derozi used mineral pigments that create a metallic sheen. This painting uses plant-based colors mixed with pearl powder. The glow is softer. It's a masterful forgery, but still a forgery. Preposterous, scoffed Mr. Su's art expert. How would a child know such things? Because we have an authentic Wu Derozi painting, Xiaobao piped up. He gave it to us at the last Peach Festival. The room erupted in laughter. The idea that these children had attended a mythical celestial banquet was too absurd even to take seriously. If you're so certain, Mr. Su said, his voice dangerously soft. Prove it. Show me this authentic Wu Derozi painting of yours. Mingbao closed her eyes and whispered into the air. Grandfather Wu Derozi, we need the Peach Festival painting. Please send it. To the amazement of everyone present, a delivery person arrived at the mansion moments later, carrying a scroll. But this was no ordinary delivery person. Her eyes held the depth of eternity, and when she moved, it was as if reality bent slightly to accommodate her. Special delivery from the celestial realm, the woman, actually the children's mother in disguise, said with a knowing smile. Please handle with care. When the scroll was unrolled, gasps echoed through the hall. The painting seemed to breathe with life. The figures of gods and immortals moved subtly, as if caught in an eternal moment. The scent of peach blossoms filled the air, though no flowers were present. And most remarkably, A crane painted in the corner suddenly took flight, manifesting as a real bird that circled the room before vanishing back into the silk. "Impossible," Mr. Su breathed, his art expert having fainted dead away. This is beyond authentic. This is divine." Ming Bao met his eyes. "There are truths in this world that science cannot explain, Grandfather Su. But that doesn't make them less real." From that moment, the Shin family's reputation was cemented. These children who could produce miracles, they were either blessed by heaven or heaven sent themselves. The parent-child cooking competition at Haiching's most prestigious kindergarten should have been a simple affair. But nothing was simple anymore in the Shan household. "We need to make something special for father and grandmother," Ming Bao announced as they stood before their assigned cooking station. "What about jade soup?" Xiao Bao suggested. "Grandfather God of cooking taught us the recipe. Jade soup, a legendary dish said to have been served to emperors, made with actual jade, amber, and precious stones, rendered edible through ancient celestial techniques. A dish that could cure illness, extend life, and grant clarity of mind." It was also, Ming Bao realized with growing excitement, exactly the kind of dish that would prove once and for all that they were no ordinary children. The other parents, celebrity chefs, famous food bloggers, culinary school instructors, set to work on their elaborately planned dishes. They had brought premium ingredients, professional equipment, specialized tools. Ming Bao and Xiao Bao, meanwhile, began pulling literal rocks from the supply box that had mysteriously been delivered to them that morning. "Are those children cooking with stones?" one parent whispered, scandalized. "They're using paper talismans as fuel. How unhygienic. This is embarrassing. They're lowering the standards of our prestigious institution." Jinya, standing behind his children, felt a surge of protective pride. "My children are Shens. They can cook however they wish. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave." The children worked with intense focus, grinding jade into powder, dissolving amber in carefully heated spring water, using techniques that predated written history. They muttered incantations that sounded like they belonged in an ancient temple, not a modern kitchen. And then they were done. The judges, renowned food critics from across China, approached the various stations. They tasted artfully presented sushi from one family, praised the technical precision of French foie gras from another. When they reached Ming Bao and Xiao Bao's station, they recoiled. A clay pot? No garnish? Not even proper serving dishes. The head judge, Master Zhou, looked personally offended. 0 points. "I won't even taste it." 0 points, echoed another judge. 0 points, said a third. Wait. Master Zhou, the most famous food critic in all of Doxia, had just arrived. He was an elderly man whose reviews could make or break restaurants, whose palate was considered the most refined in the nation. He looked at the clay pot, then at the children, and something in his expression shifted. "You're the children who saved Mr. Su's life, aren't you?" he said quietly. "And you made this soup yourselves?" "Yes, grandfather," Ming Bao replied. Master Zhou lifted the lid of the clay pot. The aroma that emerged was indescribable. It spoke of mountain peaks where gods dwelt, of peach orchards in paradise, of foods that nourished not just body but soul. Against his better judgment, against everything he thought he knew about cooking, Master Zhou tasted the soup. His eyes widened. He staggered. He took another spoonful, then another. "This is..." His voice broke. "This is jade soup. The lost recipe of the god of cooking himself. I thought it was only legend." He took another taste, and suddenly clutched his chest. Blood trickled from his nose. He collapsed, not from poison, but from the sheer power of the soup overwhelming his mortal constitution. The room erupted in panic. An ambulance was called. But Master Zhou recovered within minutes, looking 10 years younger, his chronic ailments mysteriously cured. "This soup," he declared to the assembled crowd, "is the greatest culinary achievement I have witnessed in my 50 years as a food critic. These children have recovered a recipe lost for millennia. I award them..." "No," Awards are meaningless for such mastery. I bow to their skill. And the most famous food critic in China knelt before two 8-year-old children and touched his forehead to the ground. The video went viral within hours. The Shin family's phone rang non-stop with offers. Restaurants wanting to buy the recipe, cooking schools begging the children to teach, foreign governments making diplomatic inquiries. But Ming Bao and Xiao Bao had made the soup for only one reason: to show their father and grandmother that they loved them. Awards and fame meant nothing compared to the joy in Jinye's eyes as he tasted their creation. Qing Niao cradled Jinye's body in her arms, her tears falling like rain on his face. A goddess does not easily cry. Tears are a mortal weakness, a sign of attachment that celestials are supposed to transcend. But in that moment, she was not a goddess. She was simply a woman holding the man she loved, watching him slip away. "I won't let you go," she whispered. "I won't." But the rules of resurrection were absolute. A life for a life. Jinye had given his life to save the Zus, and that debt was paid. There was no clause for take-back, no celestial loophole. Except there was. Ming Bao pulled out the painting, the authentic Wu Darozi scroll depicting the Peach Festival of the Queen Mother. The painting contains the essence of every god and bodhisattva who attended the festival. "If we invoke them all, the celestial laws will know," Qing Niao said. "Using the painting will reveal my presence in the mortal realm. My punishment will be severe. But it will save father? Yes. Then do it." Qing Niao unrolled the scroll and began to chant. Ancient words of power filled the air, and one by one, figures began to step out of the painting. Tai Bai, the celestial advisor. The 8 immortals. The god of longevity. Each one contributed a strand of their divine essence to the working.